Hi and welcome back. In this video, we're going to dive into my computer and actually dig into Google Analytics segments. I showed you a little bit 2 videos back about the power of segments and how useful they can be. And in this case, I'm going to show you actually how to start using them and import from the gallery as well. So let's get started.
Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be going over a brief overview of the Google Analytics segmentation system. All right, so let's log in. If you were just watching the last video. All right, so let's get in there. And if you were watching the last video, you should probably be logged in already. So we'll just kind of start digging in. So here at the top, you're going to see this blue circle that says all sessions 100%. So this is just showing me a segment of everything, of all sessions. If you wanted to start digging into other segments to see how they interact with your site, you can actually do this by just clicking Add Segment here. Now, there are several different types of segments in here you can find. Right now, I'm viewing them by all, but you have the system ones, which are all preloaded. They're out of the box. If you've just opened up Google Analytics for the first time, they are here, okay? And then you go into custom, which are the ones that you start building out yourself. You'll see here I have something like for a cert, people who have purchased our content engine, but have not gone through our content cert. So we could create a marketing segment off of that. You have shared, so if you share your segments with anybody. Starred, so you can star a segment like, hey, there it is, it's starred now. It's taking a little bit. Oop. You can star your segment, and then, hey, look, there it is, it's in my starred area. I'm going to unstar it. And then selected, which are the current ones you have selected in there. All right, so let's just show one example of a segment here, and I'll go into a system one, and let's grab new user and returning user. All right. So you can grab up to, I believe it's 4. All right. So we're looking at new versus returning users here, and you can see that there's some differences that have occurred here. Returning users spend almost like 2.2x longer on the site. They go to more pages. Whereas the newer users is browsing briefly. They're probably coming from a paid ad or a social ad that they're taking a look at and hitting the page. And we can actually find out where they're coming from because now we're just only analyzing these 2 different types. And as I was talking about acquisition, let's see where the heck they're coming from. So let's look at the channels. And you'll see in the table, as it comes down, you'll have new user, returning user, and under each one it'll be the same. So let's take a look at paid search. In terms of new users, bam, 37,000 sessions that we're taking a look at there. But returning, only the 21. So more people are coming, new users are coming from the paid search avenue than our returning ones. Similarly, we're having more return visitors from email, which makes a lot of sense since they've given us our email before. But we're starting to get a better idea about the difference between these 2 individual segments. I think what's most telling here would be at revenue, where you see $43,000 coming from the new user, whereas a whopping $396,000 coming from the returning. So obviously we want to make sure that we can get people coming back to the site because they will be spending much more money. All right, if you wanted to check out some other segments, you can add some more in there. So let's go back to system and maybe do single session users. So someone that's only been there, who stays for a single session. And let's just say, and let's have converters. And that is the maximum amount we can do. We can only have 4 segments at a time. So we'll load that. It might take a second. And so we're going to start taking a look at and comparing the behavior of those different groups. Obviously, converters will have a much higher revenue standard there because it's going to be the percent of all total since they're all the people that have purchased something. All right, so those are your system segments. Let's remove these and then go back in so I can show you something quickly. We're going to dig really deep into this later on in the 7th section, but you can also create your own custom ones by clicking New Segment or Import from Gallery. Say you're just really bad at creating segments, you just don't know how it works, and I'll show you briefly how it works before we dig into it later on. But say a lot of the stuff's already been created for you, so you can actually go into their gallery and find the segments that you want. This is very, very useful. You have people like Avinash and Justin Catroni who have created some amazing segments that you can start using. Very, very useful. But I'll get out of that, click close. And so say you want to just create a new segment of people that at least spend at least $1. Okay. I could do, I just need to see revenue per user is greater than 1. All right, so that'll actually build a segment right there. So it says 1.13% of users where the revenue is greater than 1. And we can actually, you'd name it. So spent at least $1. Spent at least $1. And you can save it. And it will load it on here as well. So you'll actually see it on the chart. All right, and we can actually go into our main overview again, where we can start seeing a bit more information about each segment. So remember, you can only have 4 at a time. So let's just take a look at how these 4 look on our top channels from acquisitions, and you can start seeing top for new users, what's going on there, and how things change. Return mostly coming from email, new usually coming from direct or paid, where email is actually coming up with a lot of the people that spend the most money for us. All right, cool. So this is an example of how to use Google's segments based off of the ones that they have that are already in the system versus ones that you can create on your own or import from your gallery. We'll dig deeper into this in section 7. Okay.